Good morning, everyone. It is me, and I am back again for another motivating, inspiring, encouraging, and empowering video this morning. Today, we're going to be continuing on talking about living a grateful and thankful life. How important is that to be able to be grateful and thankful for the things that you have and be appreciative for the things that you have, and to continue to gain more things, right? The more you're going to attract more things, the more grateful and thankful that you are and appreciative of your life. But when you focus on the lack, which is what we've been talking about, focusing on the lack and, being stressed and worrying and dealing with anxiety, dealing with depression, those were emotions that had a hold over my life for many, many years until I learned how to take back control over my own emotions. I was allowing my emotions to control me, and I didn't even know that's what I was doing. So until I realized how I can go from not allowing my emotions to control me to becoming in control of my emotions, it just made sense. And so once I realized that, hey, I can control these emotions. I don't have to allow myself to be a worrywart or to stress out about everything and let it hold on, let it fester in me and become to the point where I'm dealing with anxiety or I'm dealing with depression for years and years to come. So when I realized that, I made a tremendous change in my life. And so now I'm speaking to you all about it. Actually, I've been talking to you about it, for the last couple of years, about being grateful, being thankful, and being appreciative of what you have and not focusing on the lack. Because when we focus on the lack, is it going to make us get it? No, it's not going to make it come. It's going to keep us distracted so that we're going to focus on the negative and not look at the positive life. Not look at the positive things that we have. Not look at the joy that we can celebrate of the things that we do have. And to be able to live a more positive life. But we're so focused on the negative. Why do we focus so much on the negative? Why is it so difficult for us to be happy when we look at somebody else's life and we say, wow, so-and-so is doing this, they got this going on, they got that going on, they done got married, they are engaged, they just had a baby, they just bought a house or bought a new car. Why can't you just be happy for that person and not say it in a way like, oh girl, I'm happy for you, or oh man, I'm happy for you, that's what's up, saying these kind of things, and then behind closed doors to your other friends, you saying, well, I don't know why she got that, or I don't know why that happened to her. She don't look all that. I got a better shape than she do. I got more money than she do. I got better education. I look better than her. So why she get the blessing and I didn't get it? Or you could be saying something like, hey, all right, well, man, why his girl look like that? Look at how he looked, So it's always something that we can say negative about another person's life if we want to try to make ourselves look better. There's always something that we can do. We can go, if we really want to be on a roll, we can go and find somebody that's homeless and say, I got a better life than them. I got this, I got that, I got that. We can do that if that's the level that you want to be on. But if you're choosing, or let's put it this way, if you want to have that different level of life, then you got to elevate yourself. And how do you elevate yourself? You got to stop living in lack. You got to stop putting yourself down. You got to stop looking at yourself in a negative way. And you have to start seeing yourself more in a positive way. But how do you do that? Because you've been doing this for so long, it has become the norm. Well, you got to get out your box. You got to think differently than what you've been doing. Think about it. What's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing and expecting a different outcome. So if you're doing the same thing, if you're living the same life, if you're thinking the same way, like I was, worrying, stressing, dealing with anxiety, dealing with depression, this is what I was doing. I was repeating that negative cycle, that unhealthy cycle over and over and over. And what was it producing? The exact same thing that I was giving it, right? I was looking for it to be different, but it wasn't. It was still giving me the same energy that I was giving that. Those negative emotions, those unhealthy emotions. I was getting the same thing back, and sometimes double, right? Because I went from just worrying, stressing, and then it went into what? Anxiety and depression. Because I was holding on to so much of those emotions for so long, it became me. It became a part of me. I continued on with, well, this is just who I am, right? So these were some of the things that I was saying, like, well, this is just me. This is just the way I think. So I was supporting those unhealthy emotions by the words that I was speaking. So I want to share with you a different way of living and not holding on to those unhealthy emotions, holding on to those emotions that will make you feel less than, those emotions that will make you see yourself negatively, that will create a negative self-image of yourself, the more you hold on to those emotions. Okay, they've already probably created that, and you're just holding on to, you're helping to support that, okay, by everything you say, by everything you do, by all the actions that you put forth towards that, all the energy that you put forth towards that. You're helping yourself to stay in that. In order to get out of that, you got to ask for help. If you don't know how to do it yourself, you got to ask for help. Now, me, I'm a research person, so I'm easy to look things up, quick to look things up to try to find out, how can I get from this to this? How can I get, what do I need to do for this? What do I need to do for that? I'm that person. I'm looking stuff up online. I've just always been that way. So for me, that's my first thought, to say, I'm going to look this up. And even before the internet, I'm reading. I'm reading books to try to figure out, how do I get from here to here? Or I'm asking people questions. This has just always been me. So because I know that is a part of me, it's easy for me to go and look things up to find out stuff, right? So that's my go-to is, okay, well, I don't have a problem. If I don't know the answer, I'm going to try to find a way to get that answer. I may have to call up somebody. I love talking to women and men that are seasoned. So I have, my aunties that I talk to. I have a cousin that she's like an auntie to me, then I call them and I'll say, hey, I got a question about whatever, okay? I'm getting to that place of reaching out to more of them, but there's one in particular that I will call and say, hey, auntie, I have a question about whatever, and let them pour into me, because I want the knowledge. I want to know, I want to grow. So I'm sharing this with you all for a reason. There's another blocking point that's there for you. I already know what it is, and I'm going to share this with you. It's forgiveness. It's you not being able to forgive the person that hurt you. Forgive the person that caused some hurt and pain towards you in your life. That life experience that you went through, you're still holding on to the ought towards that person, to the offense that person did to you. You're still holding on to that. You're still angry, probably bitter about what that person has done or said or did to you. You're still probably holding on to that situation so much to where you don't even know that you're holding on to it until you actually see that person. And then all those emotions rise back up. And then you're like, wow, why do I feel this way? This happened 2 years ago. This happened 5 years ago. This happened 10 plus years ago, however long it was. You're still holding on to that. And the way that you know that is because when you hear that person's name, when you see that person, when something reminds you of that individual, hopefully it's not a child, but if it does happen to be a child and you're reminded about something that person may have said, the way that child looks reminds you of that parent, whatever that may be, you're still emotionally connected to that situation, to that person, to that situation. Now, tomorrow I'm going to share with you how to disconnect from that. But today we're going to talk about just exposing that this is what it is. Okay, just realizing, hey, I'm still emotionally connected to that person. And first, another thing I want to say, I just want to apologize for coming on so late this morning. I'm getting ready to go to work, so I was up late. I started late on my first video that I do for Facebook, and then now I came on a little late with you guys. So I greatly apologize. Tomorrow I will be on at 7:30. Okay, so I just want to kind of clear that up as to why the video is going longer into the time that it is now. So with that being said, it's still going to be a power pack video. Still going to share some great information, and you're going to love this video. And please share with other people. But the ultimate part of that is you not walking in forgiveness. So because you're not walking in forgiveness, you're still holding on. And as I mentioned, you're still connected to that person emotionally. That person probably has gone on with their life, not even thinking about you, or like how we used to say back in the day, not even studying you. Okay. But you're still holding on to that emotion. And it's hard for you to let it go. Sometimes you may even think you're not even holding on to that. Well, I'm not in that situation no more. I'm not around that person. It's over with. I'm done. I've moved on. These are some of the terms that we like to say. I'm done. Or not terms, but statements. Oh, I've moved on. I'm over that. I'm done with that. These are just some of the things that we say. But deep down inside, we're really, truly still holding on to that hurt and that pain. And we're still emotionally connected to that person. And you don't know that until you actually see that person. Someone says their name, there's something that reminds you, that's a trigger. And then you're like, wow. So why am I still upset with that person? It's been, I don't know how many years, then we go into this. But what you don't realize is you haven't disconnected from that person. That's walking in forgiveness. You haven't disconnected. Now, don't do what I did, okay? This is a what not to do. Don't call the person up and tell the person, I apologize for what I've done to you, and ask for their forgiveness, and then expect them to turn around and say, okay, well, I apologize for what I did. I ask your forgiveness. Don't do that. That was a what not to do. I did that with my ex-husband. And he was like, I said, well, aren't you going to tell me? He's like, tell you what? I didn't do anything. I couldn't do nothing but laugh, okay? Because I'm like, yeah, you did a whole bunch of stuff. You may not want to own up to that, but you did a whole lot of stuff to me that was wrong, that was disrespectful, that was evil, you did a whole lot of stuff, but you're not ready to own up to it. And all I could do when I was on the phone was to just inside say, oh my gosh, I cannot believe I just said that, because the book said you don't have to do that. But I'm thinking, we Christians, we raising a kid together, we should be able to talk about it, and I should be able to share that, right? No, that was not the case. So I had to learn from my mistake what not to do. So I'm sharing this with you guys. Don't do that, okay? You don't need to call the person. You don't need to text them, email, write a letter, none of that stuff. You don't need to do any of those things to walk in forgiveness from that life experience of that person hurting you, those emotional pains that you still have there, emotional hurt that you're experiencing. You do not have to call that person up at all, okay? What you can do, if you so choose to, write a letter to that person. Say, dear so-and-so, whatever that person did to you, write it in there. And then say, I forgive you for X, Y, Z, the things that you did to me. I forgive you because I'm gaining back my self-esteem, my self-worth, my self-confidence. My self-image is better now that I've let this go. I'm able to love again. My life is stronger. I'm more a positive person. Whatever you want to say that to that person in this letter. And then if you choose to, if you're a person like me that journals, then put it in your journal. If you don't want to keep it, rip it up. But before you rip it up, pray about it or meditate on it and just say, look, I'm letting this go. Okay. But if you choose not to do any of that, tomorrow I'll share some more with you. And we're going to talk a little bit more about what I shared with you. But there's a way that you can get past that, okay? And I probably shouldn't have shared that on this video, but tomorrow we're going to talk a little bit more about it, okay? And more in depth. So just think about moving forward, letting go, so that you can become the true, authentic person that you were intended to be. Your authentic, unique self that you were intended to be. That is going to be the best day of your life when you come into that full understanding. When you walk in that life and you're able to be joyful, to be happy, to be, grateful, live a life of being thankful, be appreciative of the things that you have, and just have a zest for life. Your whole entire life will change when you walk in forgiveness. So now the name of this book that I'm going to share with you is called Unforgiveness, The Ultimate Miracle by Paul J. Meyer. Awesome read book. I mean, it's written so well that a preteen, a kid 11 or 12 and older can read this book and get the same understanding, if not more of a deeper understanding than what I got from reading this book. It's such an easy read book. They don't teach about this in church. And trust me, I know I've been in church all my life. I've heard the messages that they preach on about forgiveness. Totally different than reading it in this book. It is life-changing. I can guarantee you, if you read this book, you're going to get something positive out of it. You're going to be like, wow, the lights are going to go off like, holy crap. And I'm not really trying to promote the book for this guy. I'm promoting the book because it's forgiveness, and it's going to help you to understand what forgiveness really is. It is like, I'm telling you, it is the best book that you would ever read. That's so encouraging, inspiring, motivating, empowering to yourself. It really is a great book to read. So I've put it into the feed of the video. I'm going to post it on my page so that you can see it. I couldn't find it this morning to put my hands on it to go ahead and share it with you, but I will find it and I'll post it on the page so that way you get a chance to see it. I hope that you guys, when you see this book, that you will go out and purchase it, download it, however you want to get it. It is life-changing. It will open up so many doors in your mind as to what forgiveness really is and the value and the benefit of it. I mean, he just truly breaks this down in this book. You have got to read it. And with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to let you guys go. And join me tomorrow so that we can talk about more into walking in forgiveness, okay? It is tremendously going to make a huge difference for you in your life. And with that being said, I thank you guys for joining in this morning, and I look forward to talking with you all tomorrow. Have a great rest of your Thursday, and I will see you guys when you got it on tomorrow's show. Bye-bye. Have a great day.